Well, I'm at the Syn-Pro conference in Loughborough on a lovely day, and I'm with Professor David James of, now let's get this right, the Group CEO of Labosport and
right.
Technical Chair of SAPCA.
SAPCA, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you were speaking this morning, and it was very, very interesting, and you brought us back initially to 1966 and the opening of the Houston Astrodrome. Now, I know 66 is famous for something, I can't quite remember what it is, but we've had 58 years of progress when it comes to synthetic turf.
We're not in the England team, yeah.
There's been a lot going on in those 58 years. Can you just, where have we come from with synthetic turf?
I guess my point is, synthetic turf it's a really not a new technology. It's been around for a long time, since 66, from that kind of AstroTurf kind of origins. But really since then, the technology has been on quite a large development. We've gone through different materials, different constructions, different system designs now, this kind of so-called first generation, second generation, third generation. And those developments has really now allowed synthetic turf to have a really important place in the marketplace, particularly for, community sport, because it can just withstand so much traffic. This idea of, maybe 10 times as much usage on a synthetic system than a natural turf system. Now, I'm a huge fan of natural turf. That's where I started my career. But not everyone has enough land or the skill or the expertise to sustain a natural turf surface, and therefore that's when synthetics, they show a really, really important role in the market. And I guess my point is, it's really now it's a really established and a really well proven technology. And I guess we've done a lot to sort of address the sort of sports performance aspects, the human surface interaction work, loads of work on that, ball surface interaction, that's all been mastered. But now the real focus for this industry is all really about sustainability, I'd say.
But going back to the performance side of it, the dream must be to have people not knowing whether they're playing on natural or synthetic. Is that something is a goal, or is that just a layperson's idea of what a goal might be?
It's interesting. I think a lot of people would say that the idea that natural turf is best, that a natural grass field is best, but not always the case. I mean, if you take the sport of hockey, right? Hockey chooses to only play on synthetic because the synthetic. The qualities of the game on synthetic turf is better than on natural turf. They can get the hockey players can get just the right ball roll, the right predictability, the speed on synthetic turf that you cannot achieve on natural turf. So it's not always the case. And also, I'd say that a lot of youth players, recreational players who play on synthetic. Say football, play football on synthetic surfaces, they've kind of grown up with this surface. They know how it behaves. Their body's adapted to it. If those players were to actually play on a hybrid pitch, a modern hybrid pitch that you see in the modern professional game, that's quite a different surface. It's very hard, it's very fast, not as easy on the body. So I'm not so sure actually if we should be trying to make these surfaces completely match. What I think what you need to do is understand the different use cases and design a surface for the user group that you need, basically.
Yeah, because thinking back, I can't vouch for the Astrodome, but thinking back to Queen's Park Rangers and was it Luton Town had one as well, and the bounce would go way.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've moved a long way from that.
We've moved a huge way from there, yeah. And certainly the ball dynamics that you can achieve on a modern synthetic is exactly the same as we get for natural turf. A ball rolls 8 metres on a natural turf surface. When we match it on the synthetic, we get the right ball height.
Like a stimp meter for golf.
Yeah, it's like something. So we do all these measurements, and there's a whole industry actually that's grown up around I guess making standards for all the different sports, working with the federations. This is what we do in Labosport. We work with the federations to establish standards, update those standards as the games are changing, and then to enforce them. We go and measure and make sure that the pitches are built correctly to begin with, and also their performance is sustained over their lifetime.
You were talking about the sustainable side of things and the environmental issues that are there. We were talking about synthetics, and we're talking about plastics and all the rest of it. Never mind the injury or the illness element, which was addressed, was because I remember 5 or 6 years ago the rubber crumb. But we seem to have got through that, and the evidence is there that it doesn't cause the...
It doesn't cause... So I mean, there was this, I suppose, starting, 10 years ago or so, it's kind of, is there a question around the potentially carcinogenic materials used? We use a lot of recycled tyres in synthetic pitches, and there's a theoretical potential that materials could be carcinogenic. Well, that has been fully investigated. We know that the levels of these chemicals in the tyres are now at such a low trace level they can't possibly be injurious to human health. So that issue's really kind of been put to bed, and now it's controlled and regulated. Not that it ever really was an issue, but we've controlled that very well. And on the I suppose the injury side for, say, players getting ACLs or this kind of topic, again, it's a live debate, but all the evidence and a recent what you call a systematic review, which looked at, I think, 53 different scientific papers, found no increase in injury risk on synthetic turf in comparison to natural turf. And in fact, at the community game, which again 99.99% of players are community level players, the synthetic field is more consistent. It's and a higher quality than what can be a very poor natural turf field, which they would have to play on. Not community players do not play on sort of stadium level natural grass. A lot of them have to deal with whatever they've got in the park.
Now, just looking further down the line, where can we get to with synthetic surfaces? Is there a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal for what we might be playing on in those timescales?
So I think the big focus is all really on sustainability now. And we have to make sure that the systems are designed so they have minimal environmental impact during their use. That actually they're really positive for the environment. You get big benefits from a synthetic system over a natural turf system. Less water usage, less fuel for your lawnmowers and all this machinery and this kind of stuff. No pesticides. So we have to make sure that there's a strong environmental case during their use, and also we have to make sure that the end of life for the recycling is really well thought of, and you have to design that into the start. So I'd say really the focus is on, I suppose, making small improvements to the playing performance. Again, it's very good now, but the real focus is about sustainability and making sure you design these things to be recycled, so you can get a full sort of circular economy of these products, so that they're really sustainable.
Wonderful. Well, I enjoyed your talk this morning. It's fascinating, and hopefully get an opportunity to sit down with you at greater length at some point and do a feature for Turf Matters. Sure. But thank you very much for a little bit of your time, and it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.